am an emotional person. I always have been, and I probably will always be. My emotions come from my dependence on other people. I love people, and I love it when I can count on other people. This gets to be really hard when you're the youngest sibling. I have two older siblings. I have my brother, Mikey, who is 23 years old. He graduated from Valley City High School in 2017 and attended VCSU for 4 years. He lived in my house those 4 years. But then last year, he got married to his wife, Maddie. I love Maddie, and I'm really happy for them. But it was also really hard for me, because I love my brother so much, and I was really close to him. And he now lives in Plymouth, Minnesota with his wife and a kid on the way. But luckily, I have another sibling too. I have my sister, Katie. She is 20 years old, and she graduated from Valley City High School in 2020, and just graduated this past weekend from FLVC down in the cities. And now this coming weekend, she's getting married to Zach. Again, I'm really happy for them, and I love Zach and Katie. But it's really hard for me because Katie is one of my best friends, and I have been so close to her all this time and shared a room with her since I can remember. But in the midst of when things were getting the hardest in my life, my family invited Maxie into my home. Maxie is from Austria, and she came into our home in January. But sadly, in less than a month, I have to say goodbye to her too, leaving me again, the only sibling in my home. This has caused me to have to find joy in other ways. But sometimes when things get hard again, I have to remind myself that I need to cry a river, build a bridge, and get over it. So today, that's what we're gonna do. We are going to cry a river, build a bridge, and get over it. Step 1, cry a river. Now, this is probably one of my best steps, and this is where I find my strength. Like I stated before, I'm a very emotional person. Emotions is something everybody feels, and we're never going to escape. According to David Matsumoto on the Human Intel website, emotions today come from the emotions that humans used to use for survival skills. And we used it for finding food, for fighting, finding mates, and starting families. Our bodies are filled with this emotional feeling. Charlie Evans on the science of emotions claims that our emotions come from an adaptation of our fight or flight response. Our bodies are filled with emotion and are filled with adrenaline, and our hearts start to race. Whether we're excited for our birthdays, sad because of the loss of someone, or just angry at your sister for taking the front seat. All of these emotions come from the same thing. Now, just like a river, our emotions and the amount of time we spend on emotions can take a different amount of time. Rivers are all different sizes, like the Cheyenne River. It is pretty much smaller than the Mississippi River, which is quite a lot bigger, just like how much time we spend on all of our emotions. But now that we have cried our river, it is time to build a bridge. Popular Mechanics tells us of a bridge in Beijing called the Sanyang Bridge, built in a mere 43 hours. Then we see our very own Highline Bridge, which took about 2 years to build. And finally, the Golden Gate Bridge, which took 4 years to build. Now, just like these bridges, our bridges and our own bridges that we build don't build overnight. They take different amount of times for each type of bridge you're building based on the person and the situation. Now, my bridge in the past couple of years has consisted of my family, my friends, reading the Bible, listening to music, spending time alone, and running. Now, like I stated before, bridges take a different amount of time each person and each situation. But whether it takes 4 years to build your bridge, or it takes only 43 hours, that bridge is going to be built. So now that we've built our bridges, it is time for the hardest step. It's time to get over it. Now, I think everybody can agree this is one of the hardest steps. Many times you forget something and you want to backtrack a bit, or you just have to take a break. And that's okay. But it's always important that the next day you get up and you keep going. You keep moving and keep walking over that bridge. It might be hard, but it's important. Because one day, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, or 1 hour, that day will come when you are over it. There are so many ways to get over and to express your emotions. Some people like to talk to it with other people. Some people find that one certain person that they know they can count on to be there for them. Some people like to spend time alone in their bedroom with the door closed. And sometimes it's a mix of all three. But no matter what, the way you express your emotions, it's valid. And one day, it will pass. So now, after taking these steps, I can proudly say that I have cried a river, built a bridge, and now I'm over it.